Being a parent is, well, it's a journey, right? And watching your child learn and grow is a huge part of that. Today, we're going to talk about something really important: the early signs of learning disabilities. We'll break down what to look for, keeping it super clear and simple.
Have you ever seen this? You're watching your child read, and you can just tell they're stuck. They're going over the same sentence again and again, but it's like the words just aren't connecting. You can see how hard they're trying, but you can also see that frustration building up.
It's so easy for us to think, oh, they just need to try harder. Or maybe we worry they're being a little lazy. But when you see your child putting in all this effort and the results just don't match up, that's a huge clue that something else might be going on. It's almost never about a lack of trying. It's usually about an unseen struggle.
And listen, if you're thinking this might be your child, I really want you to know you are not alone. Not even close. The National Center for Learning Disabilities says that as many as 1 in 5 kids in the US has a learning disability. That's a huge number. And it's so important because it shows just how common this is. Realizing that is the first step to getting rid of any stigma.
So let's get this absolutely clear because it's the most important takeaway. A learning disability has nothing to do with how smart a child is. Zero. In fact, some of the most brilliant, creative, successful people in the world have learning disabilities. It just means their brain is wired a little differently. It processes information in its own unique way. So, what are some of the actual signs you should be looking for? Let's dive into 3 of the most common types of learning difficulties you might notice in your child's schoolwork. Okay, first up is dyslexia. You've probably heard of this one. It's all about reading. A child with dyslexia might really have a tough time sounding out words. You might see them mix up letters that look similar or even reverse whole words, like reading saw as was. For them, reading out loud can be incredibly stressful. Next, let's talk about dysgraphia. This one is all about writing. You might notice that their handwriting is really messy, even when they're trying their best to be neat. They might also struggle just to form the letters correctly, or maybe the biggest challenge is getting all those great ideas in their head organized and down on the paper. And number 3 is dyscalculia, which, you guessed it, involves numbers. And we're not just talking about tricky algebra here. A child with dyscalculia might have a hard time with really basic concepts like what 5 plus 3 is, or even with everyday skills like telling time on a clock with hands. Now, I know, seeing these signs might feel a bit overwhelming, but here is the most hopeful, powerful message of all. The sooner you spot these challenges and get your child help, the better. Getting the support early can completely change their experience at school, and maybe even more importantly, it can protect their confidence and their belief in themselves. Because at the end of the day, this isn't about what a child can't do. It's about finding out how they learn best. It's about giving them the right tools so they can really shine. With the right support, every single child can find their own way to succeed.